Hello everyone, the Nerdy Steve here, and today I will be featuring an Explorer combo deck that features Greasefang and Parhelion. I'll talk about the overall deck building plan, some of the specific cards and card choices, and then a little bit about the sideboard, and then we'll play a match or two. So, let's go. If you played any of Explorer, you've probably seen this combo before, and it's a very powerful card or interaction. So we have Greasefang Okiba Boss, where at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you have a vehicle card in your graveyard, return it to the battlefield. It gains haste, and then you return that vehicle to your hand at the end of your turn. So with Greasefang out on the battlefield and Parhelion in your graveyard, you can go into your combat step, reanimate Parhelion. You can crew Parhelion with Greasefang, and Parhelion has haste now because of the Greasefang ability, and you get to attack with a 5/5 flyer, and it creates two 1/1 angels. And this combo can happen as early as turn 3, and it is very hard to interact with and deal with, and it is very resilient and very consistent. So let's talk more about the deck. So we have Ledger Shredder, Faithful Mending, and Tainted Indulgence, along with Raffine and Kaito. So these 5 cards, I guess you could also put Consider into this, but a little less so. These 5 cards allow you to loot, and looting is when you draw a card and discard a card, right? So with Ledger Shredder, whenever a player casts their second spell each turn, you connive, which is draw and discard. Faithful Mending is you draw 2, discard 2. Tainted Indulgence, draw 2, then you can discard 1. And with Raffine, you can attack and connive. And Kaito, you can draw a card and discard a card, right? And that sounded redundant, and it is, because if you have Parhelion in your hand, it's not really doing anything, right? Because very rarely are you ever going to get to 8 mana to cast it, and then wait another turn to crew and attack. So, what you really want to do is filter through your deck, through all your looting abilities, to find a Greasefang, cast it pre-combat, and animate a Parhelion in your graveyard. And again, as I was naming these looting cards for what seemed like 10 minutes, right? And that's because the deck has a lot of them to really provide a lot of consistency. That you can find the pieces of this combo, even though there's really only 2 and there's each of 4 of, you can find it with a very consistent regularity, right? And then we also have ways to reanimate the Greasefang. So with Can't Stay Away, which has Flashback, and Sorin, it is very easy to, if they've killed your Greasefang before, you can then cast something that can reanimate the Greasefang, right? So it's also resilient on that axis again. And it's also very important to note that how Greasefang works makes it really hard to interact with in certain ways. So at the beginning of combat on your turn is when it triggers, right? So your opponent, in order to stop the Greasefang from using its ability, needs to kill it during your main phase, right? And this is a very tricky thing, and it goes into the more technical aspect of the game. But if you have a Greasefang on the battlefield, and your opponent kills it before you go to combat, you regain priority. So you regain the ability to do something after your opponent kills it, which means you can cast another Greasefang in your hand. You can cast another Can't Stay Away, or cast and activate Sorin to reanimate the Greasefang. So your opponent also can't hold a removal spell knowing that they can solve the Greasefang combo. Sometimes they need to hold multiple ones to ensure that Greasefang will be killed, right? And then on top of all of that, Ledger Shredder and Raffine are providing you with really big evasive threats, right? Ledger Shredder gets bigger every time. It can get bigger every time someone casts a second spell. Raffine, whenever you attack, you're conniving. So not only are you looting and getting closer to your combo, you're attacking and dealing damage with these threats that are becoming bigger and bigger, and your opponent has to deal with in their own right. So if your opponent is killing Ledger Shredder, it means your Greasefang can do its thing. If your opponent's killing Greasefang, they're taking damage from the Ledger Shredder. And that's why this deck is very, very powerful. Not only does it have the combo that can come kind of out of nowhere, and again, it can live in your graveyard, so you don't even need to hold it in your hand. It's also attacking on a literal offensive pace, right? And that is really, really hard for a lot of decks to deal with. And then we also have Fatal Push and Thoughtseize as removal and interaction for other decks. And then our sideboard is kind of what you would expect, in that a lot of other decks after game one will bring in ways to interact with your combo. And so you have Portable Hold to maybe deal with opposing Unlicensed Hearse. You have Unlicensed Hearse to interact with your opponent's graveyard strategies. You have Go Blank for control matchups, and Vanishing Verse for more specific removal or mystical dispute when you need to resolve, against control decks where you need that interaction on the stack instead of on the battlefield, right? So you're going to want to sideboard, again, like all sideboards, you're going to want to appeal to your strengths and then try and fix your weaknesses in certain matchups. Like Fatal Push, not particularly wonderful in certain games, right? And maybe you can remove Raffine or Sorin against certain matchups, or even go less on Parhelion if you think there's going to be a lot of graveyard interaction, and maybe you just go for a more control style, right? So with that, let's go play a couple matches and see how it goes. Okay. So this seems like a pretty decent hand. We don't know if our opponent is on Control Yorion or Elemental Yorion. But with our Ledger, multiple Ledger Shredders, hopefully we can kind of... Oh, they have Portable Hold, so they're probably on Control. We can find our combo more. So we have Greasefang, we need another land now, and a Parhelion in the graveyard. Our opponent missed the land drop, which is great for us. Very, very good. And missed another one. Let's activate Tainted Indulgence. Let's Okiba. If our opponent... Now our opponent's probably going to remove it pre-combat, which is fine. We have the Can't Stay Away that we can bring it back now. There we go. We are going to crew. Then we say go. Parhelion will now return to our hand. But we can loot it away again to re-trigger the Greasefang. We also now can't stay away on the Greasefang. So let's do this. We discard the Parhelion. Shatter resolves. We can draw again. I want to Thoughtseize our opponent to just see more what's going on. So they're... Oh, wow, look at this. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. It got exiled? Oh, I'm a liar then. How did it get exiled? What did I miss? I missed why it's exiled, everyone. Oh, no. That might be very, very bad for me. Okay. Well. Absorb? Okay. Pay 2 life. We get to bring it back. Again, doesn't matter. GG. I may have messed that up. I'm a little confused as to what happened, but that's okay. Happens. We want to bring in Duress. Probably Veto for interaction. And Go Blank. And I think we can take out all 4 Fatal Pushes, right? Maybe there's a world where we bring in Portable Hole for our opponent's Portable Hole. I'm not too keen on that. Maybe Mystical Dispute. But I don't even... I think we're kind of fine. I'm still trying. Let me know if you know why my creatures got exiled. I just was not paying attention and thought they would be put into my graveyard. Which is really, really bizarre. Okay. We have Duress. Beautiful. So let's turn 1 Duress. Turn 2 Ledger. Alright, we get to get rid of the Rest in Peace. They have the Mystical Dispute for our Ledger Shredder, which I'm sure they will use, but I think we're kind of fine with that because we have a Raffine coming out. As our opponent putting the Yorion into hand. So they're bluffing something. Is it a Faithful? No, okay. Let's Thoughtseize again. Absorb. If our opponent has Depopulate, they have Depopulate. We'll draw a card and then we get to Sorin everything. We get to Sorin back Raffine.
I taste your neck. You taste my blade. I demand servitude.
Our opponent didn't do Untapped, which is interesting because it means that they cannot Wandering Emperor Raffine. Let's Thoughtseize here. They will Wandering Emperor, okay. Let's get rid of a march. I kind of want to can't stay away to bring the Ledger Shredder back. And then we can deal 1 damage to the Wandering Emperor. So if they decide to make a 2/2, it goes down to 1.
Keep watch for intruders. Remember your training.
We chump here. Memory Deluge. Tainted Indulgence. 1, 2. We discard that. I want to kill the Wandering Emperor. And then let's consider to activate all of our Ledger Shredders. Alright. Go. Opponent could animate Hall. That will tap them out. Now they're putting Yorion in there? Okay.
The weak feed the strong.
Kind of want to leave a creature black back for Sorin. What? We have 0, 1, 2, 8. Okay, let's... Thoughtseize. The Wandering Emperor? Okay. Let's get rid of Yorion. Then we will Tainted Indulgence again. This is also kind of what I was talking about, right? We are...
You're done.
really filtering through our deck.
I've got new moves to teach you.
And hopefully soon we can get what we need. We haven't seen a Greasefang yet, and we've been through half of our deck. Oh, rest in peace, that's a shame. Okay. What a disaster, everyone. I kind of want a Kaito to draw a card.
Get in, get out. Easy mission. Now, what do we have?
Let's deal 1 to our opponent. Kaito will
Time for a drink.
phase out.
You're working up my appetite.
Well, there's the Teferi.
I'm no
This got a little
timing.
harder and more complicated. Are they gonna target Raffine? Uh-oh. We will restart MTGA after
The good part.
after this fight, everyone. Oh, what a great Thoughtseize. We really needed that. Because I need to know what to do with my attack here. The Wandering Emperor or Absorb. I'm doing this to just see what they do here, because it might inform what we discard. Okay. So now I can attack the Teferi, right? We get to connive, and we will discard Raffine. This brings Teferi down to 1. Hopefully. And then we get to Sorin to kill Teferi, which we really needed to. And I can Kaito to make a ninja that can help chump block.
Bet you can't catch us.
If they animate the Steam Hall or Hall of the Storm Giants. I will trade here. Because I think I would just want to get rid of this and have our Planeswalkers live, if possible. Our opponent might have a Wrath of God. Or Depopulate or something similar. March? Okay. Wow. Is that all 4 Wandering Emperors in, like, 23 cards?
I am almost sad to see you go.
And we don't have another white mana, sadly.
Until
Vampirism is a useful trait.
Now this.
We have
is
to
a
discard
juicy
that.
secret.
Oh no. And now they have this, which is so bad. What are they gonna do? Probably kill Kaito. Yeah.
Oh, whoops. You caught me.
Good job. We create a
No secret.
ninja. We deal 1 to our opponent. I will play this land, and then we say go. Because at least now we can draw something. They are attacking Sorin, which is, you know, fine.
May death find you quickly.
We'll draw.
Thanks. I'll be taking that now.
Oh no, opponent.
Let's slow
You
this
can not just draw
We need to move.
everything, right? That is a thing you may do. Let's go blank. They will absorb it, most likely. Yeah. Do you have removal? Wow.
to phase you out of time?
Now this is a juicy secret.
This game went very, very, very poorly for us and very well for our opponent. The 4 Wandering Emperors were so good. And in our set. I think we'll just concede here. We hardly have any other creatures left in our library, and it's just, you know, not worth the frustration of that. So, maybe we can keep 1 Vanishing Verse? And we can maybe get rid of a Faithful Mending? It might stop, or we can add 2, and it can stop any of our opponents, like, it can stop Narset, kill a Wandering Emperor that's on the battlefield, and Portable Holes or Rest in Peace. So maybe that is worth it. We just need our opponent to not have, you know, that was unfortunate. That's all it was. We have to mulligan, sadly. Not like this, everyone. 1, 2. An actual disaster. Go. Yep. We will consider here. Nope. Consider again. Nope. Look at where all of our lands are, everyone. I'm gonna put a Greasefang out. If they counter it, they can counter it. Or remove it in any way, like... That's fine. My opponent does have Rest in Peace. Imagine this Tainted Indulgence actually doing anything now. If only we had the mana and we could have Thoughtseize, right? And be able to take apart opponent's hand a little bit. Maybe we have a chance, but right now it's looking not great. Okay. Let's duress. Omen, Shatter. Huh. Dream Trawler is very, very good here, but I think we need to try and Vanishing Verse the Rest in Peace. And maybe we can get something going. Wow. Discard. Our opponent's Eorian on the Omens is gonna really, really mess us up. And 2 on top isn't what we really wanted to see, right? Duress that. Thoughtseize the Yorion. Now, our opponent needs a land for Dream Trawler. Or no, they had the mana. Fudge. Dream Trawler's really good here. Imagine if we drew that go blank earlier. Imagine if we didn't go to 5 cards, everyone. Look how competitive we are. But now we just lose, so how unfortunate. Yeah, GG. Hello everyone, this is an abrupt ending to the video. I wanted to at least show you one match where I won, but that didn't work here because I'm unable to log in and play and I have to do other stuff. So I hope at least the video was somewhat entertaining, somewhat informative, and maybe I'll do a longer one tomorrow. Hopefully we can log in soon. But yeah, I want to thank you for watching. If you haven't already, you should totally press that like, comment, or subscribe button. Watch me stream this deck on Twitch at twitch.tv/thenerdysteve. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are. Or morning, afternoon, or evening, right? That's what I usually say. Regardless. Bye.